Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky194, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to stop in and visit and check out my video. And we're just going to go over some highlights here. This is a U.S. ACC U.S. competition server race here at Zandvoort, and just to lead up to it, I don't even know why I'm having the title, but I drove pretty much like a bonehead. So, I show you the good stuff and and some bad stuff too sometimes when I don't do well. I love the new livery of the Bentley there. That's one of the new liveries, which I think looks really, really good. That's the best thing. But yeah, I mean, it started. Pause this for a second. It started earlier, just to give you some context. It started earlier. This is the late race. I did the earlier race, and I drove the AMG Evo, and I really am disappointed with myself because I tried for a while to get a setup for it because I saw that I didn't have an updated setup for it. So that's like what I like to look at, and I go, oh, okay, well, I really like the AMG Evo, so let me, race at Zandvoort in this competition server and get a. So I worked on it, and I just, for some reason, I'm missing something. I cannot. The car's not terrible, but it's definitely missing a couple adjustments, and it's just inconsistent. Performance is okay, but not where it needs to be. So hopefully you'll see that coming out sometime soon, because that bothers me, because I'm usually AMG Evo is usually one of my better cars, and I just, for some reason here, I just can't get the handle. So that's something that bothered me. Well, I ended up quitting out probably that race and the other day in another CP race. So you can see my rating is just tanked. I'm just doing awful in the competition server. Um, so I really need to concentrate with some of my stronger cars to get my rating back going in the correct direction. But usually AMG Evo is one of my stronger cars, so that's what bothers me. So at the last minute, I decided to get the Bentley, and it seemed to have decent performance, even though I knew maybe it wasn't 100%. But kind of like Mount Panorama, it felt decent. It felt good. Performance was there. So I started, practicing that for a little while, and then joined in this server. But again, my head was just, this is a late race. I'm tired, and I just drove stupid. So, nobody's fault but the guy in the mirror. So it starts off here. I'm third, and for some reason, I'm thinking maybe it was the earlier race where I was fourth. I was over there, and I needed to move over, and so I'm getting ready to start here, and I'm not paying attention because I'm doing my video, talking to you guys and stuff, and I'm, just watching the thing. And next time I look and I see the thing, the arrow blinking. I'm like, whoa, what? So I go, oh crap, I got to move over. So then I can see I start moving over, and finally get back over to where I'm supposed to be over there. So, and just in time, because the thing turns green, I take off. And then here, I guess I think I'm still in the AMG or something, but I'm just a bonehead. It hit Python, hit him in the butt, and that was stupid. And then just tried to get out of the way because I didn't want to mess anybody else up. Now, I didn't wreck him. I just bumped him. Well, hit him. I did hit him, but it didn't not wreck him. Thank goodness it didn't do that, because I hate it when I do something like that. And that was all on me. So anyway, we're here now. I've dropped back to, fifth or something like that, which is okay, because I was just mad at myself. I was pretty much yelling at myself at this point. One, damage in the car, because I had a couple seconds damage, which isn't huge, but, I didn't want, and I know I damaged him also. So, we're going. Pretty decent battles, not terrible. The car wasn't handling real bad. Wasn't perfect. He slid off. The AMG there slid off. He got in the grass or something and wrecked. So then of course, that's going to move me up to fourth. And thinking I have the pace. But still, in places, it's not where, plus I'm just not driving the best either. So a little bit of both. I thought I was stronger than M44. He is here in front of me, but again, you got to try to get around him. And he was good in places, and places where I couldn't get around. So I mean, that's and I didn't want to wreck like myself or anybody else. So I'm trying to size him up, figure out where can I even try to get around him. Able to get through this last turn really well, and again, that's really important because I mean I'm going pretty decent, not perfect, but you can see he actually pulls away a little bit. It's a little oversteery. At the end of the video, I will, we'll go back over the setup. I'm going to go through it and get it, improve upon it so it's better. And he almost lost it there, which was a good catch, good save by him. But again, I couldn't really find a way to get around. That was always so slick right there. Those corners there are some of the hardest just because you can't get traction. I'm thinking here I can get him. But again, I'm not going through it strong enough through here. It's not free enough through that last corner, and he pulls me again by probably another car length or so. You can't gain. I'm not gaining anything on him down the straightaway. He went deep into there, so thinking, well, I can get around him here. But I didn't want to just shove it in there because I figured we both ended tiers. So again, backed off. Again, I'm trying to finish the race and not crash out like I have been for the last couple races. Sawyer won the first race in the Ferrari. Congrats to him in the early race. He did good. He had a really, really good pace. Again, a little oversteery. I will get the handle on the AMG though. I will get it. So. I wrecked right up here in the AMG. that curb right up here. There's a big divot or dip right before the curb, and right there on the right, that curb right there. I hit that and was too close and hit it, and it wrecked the car, threw it in the wall, did massive damage. I just stopped after that. Yeah, it's in the top 4 or something. I don't remember. I know it was near. I was up near, not in the front, but I was up. Sawyer was pulling away though. He was see there he goes. He took off. He's having internet issues, so he goes off. So I'm thinking, okay, well he's gone. Then boop, he pops right back in front of me again. I was like, okay, that's different. That's a good magic trick. So obviously he must have. Yep, then he's gone again. This time he was gone. I guess it kicked him out. So that time he's just gone. So now I moved up to 3rd, so that way I didn't have to try to get around him. You can see they're, a little ways ahead of me. Another thing, I misjudged my tires. They were overheating. So I guess what the problem was, I thought it was going to get cooler. They weren't too bad, but as the stint went, they just kept getting a little bit over temp. Then they'd cool back down, like down the straightaway, and then by the time the end of the lap, they'd be over temp again. So again, they were probably about 0.2 or 3 off. And I thought it was going to get cooler, and that hurt, and that just really, it did, but maybe only a degree, so that hurt me. Just a miscalculation on my part, but we'll skip a couple laps. You see I'm closing in. So I'm closing in on them. And they're having some pretty good battles too. I mean, they're fighting it out, trying to get, the Python's trying to get around Haynes. So, I mean, they're both trying to, but I mean, it's clean racing. I didn't see really anything, bumping or banging. They were actually, Python had some really good patience. I mean, he was trying to get it, trying to make, a pass in place and stuff. With the Porsche, it's not so easy because it's not like you're just going to blow by somebody on the straightaway. So I just thought, again, I think he was doing a good job holding his patience, and he was trying a few times, but he didn't force it, which he could have forced it and ended in tears, but he didn't. He was really trying to be patient about it and trying to work it, and I give him a big thumbs up for that, because a lot of people wouldn't have done that. They would have just jammed it in there, and that would have been it. So I thought he was racing really, really well. Showing a lot of, respect and just, basically just patience. Again, just for holding off. That was a mistake on Haynes, and they're snaking around. Of course, when they're fighting it out like this, it just gives me a chance to just catch up. So when they're moving around like that, I'm just pretty much caught up. My fast lap's a 136.53. So I mean, that's okay. It's it's all right, but I mean, really needs to be better than that. But it's okay, especially with a couple seconds damage. But so, of course, pit stop's coming up soon. Skip a lap ahead. Starting the next lap. And again, I start getting close to Python where I can start making a little bit of a challenge. theory. But again, you know, that corner is so hard to come, to be really strong coming through there. Close to that curb again, but again I can see it better sitting on the right side compared to the AMG. I went in there too deep. I think so did he. We both went in there deep. Porsche around here is super strong in the infield, so I mean, you know, that's its strength is all this whole infield here. The only really weak point is down the straightaway. Actually, I think it was the first race. Yeah, it was. They commented it looked like a Porsche fest, you know, Porsche Cup fest, because there was like 4 or 5 Porsches in the field in the early race. Everybody wanted a Porsche. And actually, that is my favorite car here at Zandvoort, is the Porsche. So, but I've done really well with the Bentley here too. So it's right up there. We're gonna dive in the pits. Pits open. So skip ahead of this. And see, I got ahead of him. He must have more damage or something, but so I was like, oh wow, I got, you know, pretty good amount too. I thought he'd be coming out at the same time or whatever, but I pretty much got ahead of him by a good amount. I think it was 3 or 4 seconds. So I felt really good about that. You know, I got my damage fixed, which I found out again, something I haven't mapped to I couldn't move my stuff to adjust my tires and stuff anyway. So that's another thing that I forgot to map back in my wheel. I can move the selector up and down, but I can't move it side to side to adjust it. So I got to fix that. So again, I forgot about it, and something else that. So because I got in there and I was going to adjust my tires, and I was like I couldn't adjust them. I was like, oh crap. So I just had to go with. So I was really hoping it was going to get cooler. Then also on top of it, the sound. Something happened. I don't remember where in this race, but the sound. This is another reason I'm doing the highlights, because the sound went out for a second and then back on, and I think my recording stopped. My recording stopped recording. So I don't know what happened. I had some kind of glitch in my recording. So that's another reason I'm just doing the highlights, so you don't have to, you know, I went there goes the leader. He just is coming out right there. So now I'm thinking, okay, this is really working out good. I've got pretty much, you know, good pit stop. It's got me back out in front, and now I can just keep a good pace and bring it home. You know, I mean, going from a bad race to a, you know, at least the result is good. So I'm really happy with that. But the bonehead driving isn't over yet. And he tried to let me by, but I almost hit him. He was like just parked it at the apex of the corner. So I almost ran into the back of him. But you can see the other two back there. So we're going to skip up to the fun lap. So this next lap here is when things change. So getting ready to start this. You can see my fast lap is a 1:36.07. So, you know, not terrible. It's not bad for, you know, of course I got my damage fixed and fresh tires and all that. So, you know, not bad, but again, really needs to be quicker than I really need to be in the 35s. That's where I used to be. So, with the Bentley. I was handling pretty decent. Again, you know, it's not far off. It just needs a few adjustments. I think I can be, you know, get it to improve. But this is where I make a big mistake. And it's just a dumb mistake. Come up through here, and I guess I just wasn't really, my mind was just tired. And I just barely touched the grass, and it threw me off and wrecked me. So then I just drove through. Now I had damage again. I stopped here because I didn't, you know, I would have wrecked those guys, so let them come through. So, and then basically, I'll show the last couple laps, because that's where the finish was. And I caught back up to him again. So I caught right, you know, of course, they helped. They were fighting it out. So I caught back up to him. Again, catching them and getting around is two different things. See, they're zigging and zagging. While they're zigging and zagging, I just keep going straight and just, you know, get to the inside of Python. And he come down and hit me. But it's just racing, just bumped. So now I'm thinking, okay, well, good. You know, I don't know if I can win, but you know, I almost dove right through here, got to the inside of him, but couldn't make the pass. He went wide. Again, just making small errors, hitting the grass there. Again, that's just, you know, almost losing it. Had to go defensive. Some of that's just because I don't drive the Bentley a ton, so just making small little errors, it just costs you. And he got a decent run here, and I seen him back there. And he just pretty much dove on the inside of me, so I just, you know, I saw him coming, so I just stayed there. And, you know, I could have guarded it and everything else, but it was just kind of a mistake on my part. Plus, I still felt bad for hitting him at the start. And then here, I thought this was the last lap, so I'm thinking the race is done, and it's one more lap. So then I'm like, oh crap, there's still another lap to go. Because I mean, they clicked it right when it went zero. I mean, it was like I wasn't watching, but I thought there was only like a second or two on the clock. It was that close for another lap. Because literally when I looked up at the clock, I had zeros on it. So, but then the guy's like, you know, says last lap. So then I'm like, oh shoot. And I just blew. So again, just another mistake. I tell you, just riddled with mistakes. So the car is way better than what I drove by far. So, but you know, like I said, live and learn. but like I said, I'll improve upon it, and let's go ahead and see if we can check out the setup. Alrighty, well, back here at the track here at Zandvoort, and I think I made the setup a lot better. Some good improvements, and we'll go over that during the setup. Some pretty good changes. So let's do a couple laps this time. One, we'll jump in the car for this lap here. It goes around this corner, the last corner, really, really good. Really free. So I like to have all my cars do that. As good as the Bentley. Now this here is I simulated a pit stop. So I started with 40 liters. Now I didn't, again, like I showed you in all my videos, I simulated so it's like you did a pit stop. So the ride height changes a little bit and things like that. So I'm trying to see how it's reacting with less fuel, with a little bit less fuel in it. Does it pick up? Does it get, handling go away? So that's what I'm trying to determine. And here, I've been trying second gear. Second gear, it seems to work better through here. It gives the car a chance to hook up instead of trying to overpower it, since that corner never has grip anyway. So that's another thing I've changed. They pinned right through here, and it just goes right through there smooth. That was a 135.65. So big improvement over what I was running in the race. And they weren't, perfect laps, so I think there's definitely still more in it. See, I hit the grass there just a little bit. That kind of messed me up, but it still goes through there really good. Again, coming to this next corner, I take it in second. Try to let the car work, get it to help it work instead of trying to overpower it. Just try to carry more speed through there, and just try not to overpower the tires. And of course, this car's got so much torque that, it's the perfect car to do that with. That was a 135.652. So again, that's super consistent. The car just feels a lot better. And when I was heavier in fuel, I ran a 135.9. So again, that was with probably, I don't know, I probably had 60 something to 70 liters on it, something like that. After I did like 2 or 3 laps, and then I did a 35.9 something. So that's still way faster than what I did, probably a good half a second faster than what I was doing in the race. So it's a good improvement to me. That's really good and closer to where I should be running with the Bentley. So I'm happy with it. So hopefully it'll work good for you. Let's go over the setup. Got 25.4 left front and left rear. 27.2 right front, 27 right rear. The toe is negative 0.02. With the camber at negative 3.4 on the left front, negative 3.2 on the right front, with the caster at 10.5. The toe is negative 0.1 with the camber at negative 3 in the left rear, negative 2.9 on the right rear. So that's there. Here, really not much. Everything's pretty optimized. I don't really see anything to gain anything anywhere there. Electronics are 3 and 4 and 1. Fuel, of course, I had 80 liters with number 1 brake pad. Tire wear was really good. Also, any roll bar on the front was 3. Brake bias was 61. Now, this is one thing you can adjust to your liking. Now, the way I got the car set up, I actually took some of the brake bias out because it just doesn't need it to help it rotate. And that's the thing. If you get too aggressive, you're gonna get oversteer. So, if you really need to, it gives you a lot of options to, if it starts to understeer a little, you can put some brake bias in it. That's not a problem. But I would definitely start off with this with 61 and just see how it goes, and then you can feed it in how you like it. But I really think it rotates well on its own. Springs in the front are 160,000 with a bump stop rate of 500 and a bump stop range of 5. And the springs in the rear are 165,000 with a bump stop rate of 400 and a bump stop range of 20. Anti-roll bars on the rear is 4 and the preload is 60. Now, a lot of things are different here from the race. The anti-roll bar is 1 or 2 clicks down. And that's to get the front end to bite and to turn, into slower corners and things like that. So I did that. If you want, you can maybe even go down to 2. So you might want to try that if you think that it doesn't turn well enough on some of the slower corners. So you could do that also. Also, the springs are all different. I basically went up 1 on the front and up 2 in the rear. So that's to help it rotate, and also just to be more exact and more precise, because this track is so, you got to hit that exact spot. You got to hit this spot here, and it's, I think that the stiffer springs give you a little bit more control to keep you precise. So I went with the stiffer package. And the bump stop rate and ranges I've changed slightly too. So this has all been changed from the race. Pretty much a complete new setup. This back here I think was the same. I think I had the diff, and I tried different stuff, but I just settled for this. But that's pretty close to the same. Shocks are different from the race also, and of course, when you change the balance and change the springs, it's going to change the shocks also. So again, I've had to adjust them constantly with Motec. So on the front, left front is 7.1, 12, 10. And on the right front, it's 7.1, 9, 10. On the left rear, it's 6.1, 14, and 5. And on the right rear, it's 6.1, 14, and 4. So again, I use Motec to dial them in. But they're a lot different from what they were in the race. But again, I've stiffened it up, so it changes a lot of things. Aero, got 56 in the front, 65 in the rear with a 7 wing and a 4 and a 4, and the brake ducts in the front aero variation is a negative 5.8. And all this has been changed. I raised the front up 1 click, and I actually lowered the rear, I think, 2 or something like that. So took a lot of the oversteer out of it. But in the process of doing that, though, I also took 1 click out of the wing. So I took 1 click out of the wing and just changed the whole balance of it, and that gives it a good speed everywhere. And that last corner, if I could get every car to feel like this on that last corner, I'd be golden, because it was just, you could just hit it right there, be very precise where you're putting the car. That's what I got to work on with the AMG, getting more precise with it, and getting right so it's just so rotating so freely that you're not trying to hit a needle. You can actually be off a little here or there and still be able to go through there flat. And that's what I need to be able to do with other cars. The Bentley was just perfect, absolutely perfect through there. So really free, not cranking on. You can watch the video. I'm not cranking a lot of steering into it, and it's just turning really good. So that's what I really like, because that gives you maximum momentum down the straightaway and less of a chance for somebody to be able to get around you in turn one. So again, I think it's really good. One just call out here, just I forgot. You want to keep this right front near 28 hot. So I mean, obviously, whatever cold pressure you run is whatever your conditions are, and that's with any setup. But your goal is to keep this up near 28, this right front for sure. So don't let it. You don't want it to be down there 27.5 or 4 or whatever like that. You need it to be up near 28, and the reason being is when you go down the bowl, go down through there, and you got that right hand turn, the right front always hits that curb right there. When you go right before the S's, you go right there and you run over that curb. And if you don't have near max pressure, you will lose pressure in this right front. So you want to be up near 28, and that way you won't lose it. So again, that's just to give a heads up. But everything else is fine, and I hope you enjoyed the setup. Definitely a lot better than what I had when I was in the race. And I sure hope you enjoyed the video and give me a like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, I would really be great if you would join and subscribe and join the channel. And again, any comments or feedback, I really enjoy talking to all my friends, and I do apologize. Sometimes it's later than I want to talk. I like to get back as soon as I can, but then sometimes life gets in the way. But I always try to get back sometime, and I do appreciate it, and I sure hope you of course, a link of this setup, before I forget, will be in the description. So the link for this will be in the description, and I have a PayPal link in the description also if you want to support the channel that way. I appreciate it, and I hope everybody has a great day, and you come back really soon. See ya.